Before recording the transactions into the double entry system and accounting system, you need to record it in a primary books, and that primary books are called books of prime entry or books of original entry. But what are they and how they work? Be with us till end of the video. This is Milad Akbari from Akbari Education. Welcome to your channel. As I told you, we're gonna cover the books of original entry or books of prime entry here. Let's go in detail what we're gonna cover in this video. Overview of books of prime entry and information about that, their types. A sample will be shown to you, an example, and practice questions we have. First of all, there are three names in international accounting which is given to them: books of prime entry, books of original entry, and even we can call them day books. They are not part of the accounting system. They are not part of the double entry system. These are the initial listings, only a listing. Suppose you can consider an Excel sheet that you will record. Suppose for the sales, you will record the serial number and the date, the invoice number, the name of the customer, description, and total of that. And in this total, you're gonna add all together, and after adding them together, you will transfer that to double entry record or to their relevant ledger. But why we gonna do that? You can consider a supermarket which has around about 150 transactions per day. Is it easy to record each transaction, like to debit the cash and to credit the sales, to debit the cash and credit the sales, debit the cash, credit the sales for each transaction in double entry system? Of course it's not. For the easiness of the work, what we do, we will record everything, suppose an Excel sheet with a detail of their invoice number, the customer name, the description of the product, and suppose we can record the value, the sales tax, and these things. After that, the total of that at the end of the day, in simple easy way, will be recorded to the relevant ledger. We will debit the cash and we will credit the sales account for that. That's why the books of prime entry exist. But there are 7 books of prime entry. First of all, the sales day book. The sales day book is abbreviated as SDB, mostly we can consider that. Sales day book is used to record the credit sales. Remember, only the credit sales. When you are doing the credit sales to the business, you will record that in sales day book, and the total of that will be transferred by the double entry system to their relevant ledger account. Second book is sales returns day book. When you did some sales on credit, then some of them may return back, and that is called sales returns, and we can record that in sales returns day book. But the point is here, some of the businesses joined these two books together. Sales day book and sales returns day book has been come together in one book, and they record both type of transactions in one book, and the summary will be recorded in accounting ledgers. But most professionally, it's better to have 2 books, one for the sales you are doing on credit and one for sales returns you are receiving back. Third book is purchase day book, PDB. Purchase day book is for the purchases you are doing on credit, and you need to pay an amount after a while to the supplier. That's called purchase day book. When you have the credit purchases, all the credit purchases will come in these books as the name of purchase day book. And suppose at a time you return some of these purchases you made on credit, that returns of the purchases will be recorded on purchase returns day book, PRDB. The fifth book is the cash book. Cash book is for the all cash transactions of the business. Suppose you sold something on cash, or you purchased something on cash. You incurred some operating expenses on cash. You received the interest from your investment in the bank, the cash deposit in the bank. You received the dividend in cash, or there are some receivables from the sales you did on sales daybook you have recorded. You received the cash against that, you will be recording here. Even for the purchases you paid on credit and now you are paying, will be recorded on cash book. That's why cash book exists. Cash book is for both receipt and payment from your bank account. Remember one thing, these will record all the transactions incurred through your bank account. This cash book is not for the cash inside the business. That's called PT cash book. That's for this one is for the cash inside your bank account and the transactions incurred inside your bank account. The cash book can be separated, distinguished in two other books. That's possible. Even some of the businesses they will keep two books, one for cash receipts book and one for cash payments book. Cash receipt book for all the cash the business receipt in their bank account, and cash payments book for all the cash they are paying from their bank account. That's why it's possible to have in one book. It's possible to separate that in two separate books. The sixth one is PT cash book. Of course, most of the businesses have some PT cash for small business expenditures. That's why they will keep that amount separately as a small amount for their small business expenditures, and they're gonna record that in another book, another listing, which is called PT cash book, for inward, the cash which you receive, and for the cash which you are paying inside the business. So you're gonna do some transactions from this PT cash book and you're gonna receive some fund to replenish that account, and these all transactions will be recorded in this book. And the seventh one is called journal. Journal is also a day book, and the aim is to record all the transactions which is not covered in this six other books, such as adjustments. For example, we can say depreciation, doubtful dates, or allowance for doubtful dates. These are the types of transactions which we cannot record as a sales, as a purchase, or cash transactions. That's why we're gonna record that in journal, and after journal we're gonna transfer to its relevant books. Let's go to example. That's the sample one. That's a sample example of this listing. You can see here as a sales day book. That's the sample provided to you. Of course, be with the channel. We will go in detail on each of these books, that how they work. Of course, it may take even 2, 3, 4 videos each one of them, but be with the channel, we will cover them. For the sample, you can see the date exists here, the invoice number exists here, the customer name exists here, and the net value of that, sales tax, value added tax, and the gross amount, and the total of that will be transferred to its relevant ledgers through double entry system. The example we have here is which books of prime entry will be entered the below transaction. There are 6 transactions available here. We're gonna judge on each of them to record in which books of prime entry. The first one, you pay Mr. Brown, who is a supplier, for $450. You paid the cash, and the cash transactions will come on the cash book. The second one, you send Dr. Smith, who is a customer, invoice for $650. This is the invoice that you have shared to him, and he is a customer. It means there is no cash deal yet. So it's a sales, and it will be recorded on sales day book. Another one, you receive an invoice from Mr. Brown for $300. The Mr. Brown was the guy who was your supplier, and he sent you an invoice for the purchases you did, and there is no cash deal yet, so it will be recorded on purchase day book. Next one, Dr. Smith pay you $500. Dr. Smith was customer and he paid you $500, and now the deal of cash exists. That's why you're gonna record that on cash book. Next one, Dr. Smith returns goods valued $50. That's something you have sold and he have some sales returns, and sales returns on credit sales, we're gonna record it on sales returns day book. And the last one, you return goods to Mr. Brown valued $40. And that $40 is for the purchase return. It will be recorded on purchase returns day book. As always, we're gonna have some practice questions. The first one is, which of the following are books of prime entry? We have 4 options: general ledger, purchase day book, sales returns day book, and journal. I recommend pause the video, think of that, find the answer and play the video again. But let's continue. You know the purchase day book, sales returns day book, and journal are books of prime entry, and the only option, which is general ledger, is part of the accounting double entry system. So option 2, 3 and 4 is correct. That's why we can select the option C. Next one, we have returns outwards are recorded in which prime entry record? Pause the video, think of that and come with an answer. But to review the 4 options, the returns outward, something you have purchased and now you're gonna return it back, will be recorded in which book? Sales returns day book, the journal, the cash book, or the purchase returns day book. That's the purchase. You have returns that outward again. That's why option D is the correct option. Thank you for being with us. We wish that be a beneficial video that covers the basics, a big overview of the books of prime entry. Kindly subscribe to our channel, press the notification button, and remember to share this video with your friends. As always, our aim is to grow together. Thank you.